Hi everyone, we are here to show you the cutting and the assembly for month 10. Month 10, we're heading into the final stretch here. We have 3 more months, so we're going to have 3 more classes, and then I'll talk about finishing kits at the end. So we're going to do 3 more after this one. So month 10 compared to month 9 is a piece of cake. Month 9 was definitely a struggle, lots of little pieces, but it gets you, it allows you to improve your piecing skills immensely. So hang in there. So I'm going to show you the cutting first, and then we'll do another video on assembly, and then at the end of the cutting I'm going to tell you a little bit about our finishing kits. So if Michelle is going to focus down, and she's got Milla on her strapped on, so if you hear some fun baby noises, that's because Milla's with us today too. So I have already pre-shrunk all of my pieces, and so this is light number 1 on the Ellison. And if you look at the instructions, there's 5 strips at 1.5 that have to be cut at various lengths. So the easiest thing to do is, once you clean cut an edge, and I'm just going to clean cut that, is just start cutting and just cut this into 1.5 inch strips. And then we can take it down from there. So I'm lining that up, and there's 1. And line it back up, and you want 2, 3, and notice I have the back side of the mat because I don't need the lines on the mat when I'm using my ruler. 4, and then the 5th one we're going to take here, and this is excess. All right. So the first one needs to be 1.5 by 10.5, and that second measurement, when we're strip piecing, it actually doesn't need to be trimmed down. So I would just leave this first one the length that it is. Okay. The second, there's 2 more that need to be 1.5 by 7.5. And again, you could probably leave these the length they are, but it's sometimes easier to figure out which pieces go together. So if I just do that, and we need 7.5, I've got that, and I can mark that over to my 7.5. And here I want to make sure that my line is straight here and here, so it's nice and square. And so I've got 2 that are 1.5 by 7.5. Okay, and that's an extra piece, so we're going to put that up there. Then we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1.5 by 3.5. So we're going to take the next 2, and we're going to cut these into 3.5 inch pieces. And if you have a 3.5 inch square ruler, be a great time just to lay it down. If you have a Shape Plus cut where you can just run in channels and cut it multiple times, and that works really well too. That's my favorite way to do it. So 1.5, that's 3.5, so that gives me 2. And then I have, get it straight, and 1.5 by 3.5. This gives me 4, because remember I've got 2 strips on top of each other. And now one of these, I need 1 more at 3.5. So I separated them, and that gives me the 5, 1.5 by 3.5. And then the last thing I need are 2 1.5 inch squares, and I have all of these lovely pieces I could get that out of. So you've got plenty of fabric this month. So I need a 1.5, and I need a 1.5. Okay. So that I have the 1.5 by the width. I have 2 1.5s by 7.5s. I have 5 1.5 by 3.5s, and I have 2 1.5s by 1.5s. So that's your background fabric. Okay. The rest gets easier and easier. So print number 1, which is always our focus print, we need two 1.5 by 7.5, and that should sound familiar. So I'm just going to clean cut this. And you can leave these, again, the length that they are, or you can cut them down to the 7.5, whichever you want. But there's 1.5.
I'm going to get that bug.
And what bug?
In the fabric.
Michelle's seeing a bug.
Oh, like in the print.
Oh, there? Yeah. So I'm just going to leave those the length they are. But you can trim them down to 7.5 if you like. So there's those. And then this beautiful bright, I love this pink. We need a 2.5. Now make sure you read that properly, by 10.5. Okay, oops. Sorry about that. I'm trying to rush, I don't know why. So this one's going to be 2.5, and you'll see why when we go to piece it. So make sure you cut it, you get in this 1.5 mode, make sure you cut the 2.5 first. And we know that we've got this long white one that's 10.5, so we know that's going to go together, right? And then we need two 1.5s by 7.5s. So I'm going to do 1.5. And again, you can leave them, but these are kind of long. And so it might be easier to go ahead and trim them down to the 7.5 inches. So if I do that and I flip it over and I do 7.5, it's right there. Line it all up, bottom and side, and cut. So those will go with the 1.5 by 7.5. And then my very last piece, I need two 1.5 by 3.5s and a 1.5 by 1.5. So we're just going to clean cut this. And I'm going to do a 1.5 inch strip. Okay. And then clean cut my edge. I like this color too. And now I'm going to do 3.5. Three and a half. And then I need a 1.5. Okay. And there are those three. So you can see we have lots of extra left over, which is okay. That's it, you know. That happens with the way we cut. I would definitely bank these because there may be a mistake made later on that you can use those for. These I would throw away. And that is the cutting. So easy to cut this month. It's going to be really easy to piece. So let's talk about finishing kits, okay? As we head towards finishing, the program that we're using does have a suggestion for finishing. And we are going to make kits for the 3 different color waves. And I played with it yesterday, and the kits are going to be $69.95, and that is going to include sashing cornerstones, the setting triangles because it's done on point, the corner triangles. It's got 3 borders on it that measure 3.5 inches each and 4 corner blocks. And you'll get all the fabric for those and the corner blocks, and you will get the binding. So it's quite a bit of fabric, and we didn't add anything to it. We just took the price per yard and figured it out. The finishing kits will be posted on our website for purchase at 8 a.m. June 15th. So if you are interested in having a finishing kit, then you want to get on. We're starting with 50 for each of the different colorways. We have fabric enough. We could definitely make more. So, but let's see how the first 50 go, and then we will piece them. Now, What we show you will 99% be what you get, but if we run low on a fabric and we have another one that's close that we can substitute, there may be a substitution or one or two, but mostly you'll get what you see. If you don't want to buy a finishing kit, but you like the way it's finished, you will get the finishing instructions as in the last block of the program. So you will have them available to you if you want to finish it that way. We also will be bringing to both stores, releasing all of our extra fabric, probably around the 1st of, June, July. I will have pulled everything for all the remaining blocks for both stores, and we'll be able to bring everything else down from our attic and make it available for those of you who want to piece it or finish it the way you like. So that's our cutting instructions and the announcement for the kits. And I will be back in another video to show you how to piece, which is super simple. It's all strip pieced. So see you then.